Hello, and welcome back to the Coupe de Villa podcast. I'm Scott Cooper, and we are back with our final review of the season, a double review. We've got Aston Villa versus Burnley and the thrilling match that was Man City versus Aston Villa on Sunday, the culmination of the season. And we will be talking about all that and Boubacar Kamara as well after this. Okay, yes, we were back with two games this week. We had way back on Thursday, seems like a lifetime ago now. We played Burnley at Villa Park. I got Noah with me tonight, and we're going to touch briefly on that game because there wasn't really a great deal to really talk about. Well, it wasn't the greatest performance ever, a bit of a nothing game. They had obviously a lot more to play for than we did. And a 1-1 draw was probably about right. But we could have maybe, Pope makes some good saves.
Big saves late, didn't he? That was some, especially the header off Traore. I thought it was in goal bound. But, I mean, it was kind of a stalemate of a game from the start. And then they took the lead with a penalty, which was there. You can't complain. Buendia definitely tackled at corner in the box. And, that it's just a Stonewall pen, and Barnes tucked it away, celebrated like he'd won the league with Burnley in front of the Holt. But Buendia made up for it with an absolute banging goal in the second half, I thought. So, I mean,
it was
not too much to really talk about.
No, it was, like I said, we weren't at our best by any means. But, McGinn had some good shots in that first half, was very unlucky. Pope made a couple of beauty saves, and Buendia, silly tackle for the penalty. Should never really go in like that when he's.
No, I was quite surprised he did though, because he never normally does that. He really went hard for the man. It was a bit of a weird Buendia tackle.
Yeah,
but, you live and you learn.
Maybe it's because he hasn't been starting and he really wanted to make a mark, but he did make a mark later with his goal. I thought it was a lovely ball in from John McGinn, and tidy finish. Pope nearly got there, but got over the line. But I think the highlight of the match for me was Tyrone Mings's block.
How good.
Was that? It was phenomenal. That's the kind of thing that we can see from Tyrone. I've been on his back a bit the last few weeks. And I think against City as well, he put in another good performance. There was an unfortunate 10 minutes there we will get to, but no, I think he's been quite strong in those last two games, and that block, that's a match saver. That's as good as anything, any goal at the other end. That's a brilliant piece of defending.
100%. I mean, to throw your body on the line like that, time it so correctly. I mean, I marked it as a goal straight away as soon as Weghorst got it in the box. It was one of those things, just simple tap in. Yeah. Normal, especially we had nothing to play for. Why a player's going to throw their body around like that? And to be fair, amazing block. And that's the stuff that we have seen from Tyrone, but we've also seen a lot of inconsistency from that. So if he can build on that and do that week in, week out, then we know we've got a hell of a centre back on our hands.
That's it. And before we go any further, I forgot to mention at the start of the show, I just want to say this is the end of the season, but this isn't the end of the podcast. We want to thank you guys and girls so much for watching the videos, liking, subscribing, all your comments, all your interactions. It's been really great. This was just an idea that we had at the start of the year. I was going to do some videos about football and about Villa especially, and then I got Noah and Tommy and Troy and Aman all involved, and we've had some other guests along the year as well. It's all been fantastic. Coxie, my brother Justin came on for one, so all those episodes have been great, and you guys have seemed to like them. And don't worry, they're not going anywhere. We've got some big plans, especially with Villa's tour of Australia coming up in the preseason. So just thank you so much, and we'll keep watching because we'll have transfer updates and any news around Villa over the off season. We will be touching on it. Noah, you want to say anything to anyone, or was
Oh, just to
yeah,
pretty much say what you said, but honestly,
yes,
thank you to you, Scott, for getting me on because the first episode against Watford was just you, and you were nice enough to invite me on after that. And I haven't quite been on all season, missed a couple of episodes here and there due to work commitments and uni, but I've had an absolute blast doing the podcast for everyone, and it's nice. I've got a decent fan base now, almost 200 subscribers, and honestly, who would have thought we'd get 200 subscribers in one season? It's been quite remarkable. So yeah, thanks everyone for their support, subscribing, liking, and commenting. It's been a hell of a ride, and I can't wait for next season already.
that's it. And we can't wait for Brisbane when we're all going to be together. That's going to be fantastic as well. So yeah, thanks again, and yeah, so we'll move on to the highlight of the week, which was the game at the Etihad. It was wow. It was almost the dream we all wanted. It was the 60 odd minutes. It was a perfect game in terms of game plan, in terms of fight, work rate, shape, concentration in defense, and still being dangerous on the attack as well, like with the counter attacks. And where to start? I mean,
it's hard to find a spot to start because we were so good for 70 minutes. Like, honestly, we took the champions. We're 2-0 up at the Etihad. We haven't won there since I've been a Villa fan. I don't think I've seen us win there.
No, I think
or even get a point.
I think we won a League Cup game there.
Yeah, maybe.
When Gabby scored a couple, that's the only time I can remember us getting a positive result there at all. I didn't hold too many hopes going into the match, especially when I heard that Emi Martinez was injured /
rested. Weird that.
Yeah. I heard Gerrard talk about it on the pre-match, and he said it was out of his hands. He would have played him. So I don't. Well, he said he's injured. I think he after that trying to correct himself, but I don't think he was too happy about it as well. And I think Martinez wants to play in this match, Argentina versus Italy, the European champions against the South American champions. So, I mean, I guess I don't have a problem with it. But
it's a stalemate. I mean, I wasn't he 50-50 to play against Burnley something as well? I heard he got a knock in training. I mean, it could just be precaution. And it's not like we're fighting for the title at the moment. I'm pretty sure if we were in Manchester City's position, he would have played. Yes. I say we were fighting, he would have played. But, I want him to do well. I don't want him to miss playing for his country and having a chance to win silverware. And Olsen started off very scratchy, but he did okay.
I actually, he grew into the game. Definitely came for some crosses and got some good, some good grabs there. And, the goals, I think, some people are saying the Rodri one, maybe he could have got to, or Emmy would have saved. I don't know. I don't think you can really blame him too much for the goals.
It's gone through 17 bodies, that Rodri one. I mean, he would have seen it super late. I mean, he only missed it by. If he gets a fingertip on that, it's going onto the post. We all know that. But you know what? It was a perfect shot.
It's just inside the post. It was, like I said, like if you ever want to, teach a young kid how to pass the ball into the goal, that's the way to do it. It was
definitely
lovely strike. And but let's go back to earlier in the match. Matty Cash opened the scoring with one of our first attacks of the game, certainly our best attack of the first half. And it was good work on the left from Digne. Beautiful ball in, and Cash got ahead of Cancelo, who lost him there, and bullet header.
Honestly, a great work from Digne. He's been really good the last few games since he's come back from that injury. But I was watching this game with a Liverpool mate of mine. So shout out to Mitch. But he was obviously watching the Liverpool Wolves game, and they were down at this stage 1-0. I think they might have just equalised. And when Cash scored, we both went nuts. I thought there's no way Villa were going to score a goal. Like, I thought we were going to get battered, like we always do against City.
Yeah.
So for Cash to give us the lead, I went absolutely mental at about, 1:30 in the morning in Melbourne time. So to mum and dad if I woke him up. But, I mean, great header from Cash. And he's been, honestly, I know Ramsey won Players Player of the Season, all that, but he's been my player of the season. He's been amazing. Mainly since Gerrard's come in, he's gone a little more attacking like Gerrard did with Tavernier. I think he's got 4 or 5 goals or something this season, which is incredible from a right back. I don't remember a wing back having that many goals for us for a very long time.
That's it. And the he's getting better. He's getting better and better. I think he's, like you said, he's bringing that final product when going forward now. I think he's defending and his work rate and his positioning and all that sort of stuff has never really been in doubt. But, in a team that concentrates very much on the fullbacks getting forward, like you said, there was question marks as, could he go to that next level? And I think he's on his way. I mean, I don't think he's the final product yet. I think he will get better and better. And we've got Digne on the other side now, who is a great attacking fullback and has slotted in really nicely. So, yeah, I think those fullback positions are definitely positions where we've got some good options now, especially if Target comes back next season and, Kessler Hayden, maybe,
Gilbert as well comes back.
Gilbert, it's another one I forgot about. Yeah. So, those fullback positions seem pretty good now. So we went into halftime 1-0. City huffed and puffed, had a lot of the ball, as they would, but they weren't really creating many chances. I don't think Olsen had a save in that first half. So
he didn't have many to make that I can think of, but I remember there one big breakaway chance was when De Bruyne went steaming through the middle of the Etihad, and I thought, here's a goal. He's pure class. Then slipped over.
Yeah.
So, we got pretty lucky, I guess you could say, because 9 times out of 10, that's a goal. And I think Foden or Jesus had a chance that they were a bit selfish and took a shot instead of passing that Olsen made a save. But besides that, we defended quite well. And I have to say, shout out to Callum Chambers, who, in my opinion, has been absolutely immense since he's come in. He's been incredible. And yes, I think he made a pass that wasn't so good in the game, but I can't think of him doing much wrong since he's come into Villa. I think he's been an amazing signing on a free from Arsenal, which I still can't get my head around how they didn't want a single cent for that bloke. So, yeah, fair play to him.
No, he's certainly slotted in nicely. I thought he was our man of the match. I thought him and Digne were probably the two best players on the park. Cash as well had another good game. But, I was really impressed with just sort of the way we stuck at it, the way we sort of, looked solid and, everything was going well. And then Coutinho, beautiful goal for 2-0.
Great goal.
The touch inside is just majestic. If you look back at it, his touch to sort of get it, inside onto his right foot, it does two players, and then he does the goalkeeper with the eyes. We've seen him 100 times put that into the far corner. This time through the defender's legs into the near post. Beautiful goal and 2-0, and it looked like, for us and Liverpool fans, it was going to be a pretty good day.
And honestly, Edison would know Coutinho better than most players as well, obviously being a Brazilian international. But what a finish. That's the class he has. And I can't believe that we have him on a permanent deal. Someone that sold for over £100 million not too long ago, to say we signed him for 17 mil is honestly ridiculous. And if he can build on this quality that he's shown this season, we're in for a hell of a player playing attacking midfield for us. But I thought 2-0, there's no way in my mind City could score 3. And right. I thought, you know what, at least we might get a draw. Yeah. But I knew if City scored 1, there was more coming. I knew as soon as they got 1 goal, we were in trouble. Yeah. I was like, if we can get to the 85th minute, we can get to the 80th minute, we might hold them out. But yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 goals in 10 minutes or 6 minutes, whatever, 5 was it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously bad. It's terrible in terms of
City flicked the switch though. They were, for that 5 minutes, they were pure class. Yeah. In my opinion, they could not put a foot wrong. I mean, I think for the third goal, De Bruyne is so good. He's the best player in the league in my opinion.
Yep.
He's miles ahead of anyone else. But look, I think we kind of crumbled under the pressure as well. I think Mings on the third goal couldn't quite get his clearance right, and then De Bruyne put the ball in. But that's football. They were dominating for that 5-minute period and deservedly scored 3 goals. I think they had 30 shots for the game. But I'd love to see how many of those were from outside the box, because they'll just ping them left, right, and centre.
Yeah, well, a phrase I've heard a lot of this season and in this run-in from Jurgen Klopp is calling his team the mentality monsters. Now, watching that Villa in those 5 minutes, I was thinking mentality morons, to be honest. it's an area of our game that it harkens back to sort of the championship days. We're still in this situation where we play well for periods in matches, but we just can't play 90 minutes, and and we shoot ourselves in the foot. It happens time and time again. We can name the many games just this season that has happened. The Wolves game, this game. There's been others as well where even the Liverpool game a few weeks ago, played well. First half, all over Liverpool, and looking like a top half team, comfortable team. But then when the pressure comes on and the game's there to be won and lost, we just seem to shirk the responsibility, or I don't know if it's a concentration thing or a coaching thing. But
yeah,
I mean it's happened under Dean Smith. It happened under Bruce. This thing just can't leave us. It's this ability just to shoot ourselves in the foot. And I mean, everyone in the chat on Sunday night was just like, typical Villa.
Yeah, I was about to say that is just, it's the thing. If you go through Twitter on that night, everyone will say typical Villa.
Yep.
It's just what we're used to. I think Ty Bracey put on Twitter, he said, Liverpool fans know what it's like to support Aston Villa. So much hope, and then just to be disappointed. And that made me laugh because it's so true, because we pushed the champions we were up 2-0 and playing so well for 70 minutes against the champions. They've been immense for so many years. It's unbelievable. And
the defense was not letting City even create good chances. Yes, they had a lot of ball, a lot of crosses, that sort of thing. But in terms of just being solid and being present, we were there. We were doing it for 60 minutes, and then in 5 minutes we've undone all that good work. It's just so frustrating. And I mean, I know this game meant nothing for us, but going into next season, if we had won that game, I think that would have given us a real springboard. And then, we get the signings. We got Boubacar Kamara, we'll talk about later. All of that would have just, been a springboard for something special next season. And this has just left a bit of a bad taste on the season, this ending.
But what I'll say, I think a big moment of the game, I think Stevie G went into defensive mode too early. I wouldn't have taken Coutinho off after he scored. I mean, that's when he'd be red hot and wants to stay on. I think he went into game protection too early. Against Man City, I don't think you can do that until about the 85th minute, in my opinion, because they're playing for the title, they're playing for the league. They're not going to stop pushing until the final whistle's gone. Look,
I thought Nakamba needed to come on, though, but...
So did I, but I don't think for Coutinho.
No.
Maybe for Dougie, but, that's football again, as I say. The manager thought it was the right decision to make. He makes it. If we win, it looks like a masterclass from him, but unfortunately hasn't come off on the day. I wish we won the game, because on the financial scale, I think it's like an extra £5 or £6 million we've lost in placement. But, as you said, it meant nothing to us. I would have just loved to have seen us create history, because I think it would have been the first time ever, start of the day, as I've come to always bring. It would have been the first time that a team that was leading on the final day hadn't won the league.
Right.
If Liverpool had won the league, so we could have created history.
Well, yeah, that would have been something. And I know all my Liverpool mates at halftime or at 2-0 were loving me and texting me and saying, you guys are going to do it. And then I didn't respond, because I knew it wasn't over.
The phrase, Scott, typical Villa, was always going to happen.
Typical Villa. It's but enough needs to be enough sometime. Hopefully, we can, I don't know, shake this kind of shakiness and vulnerable side that we have. It's we're shipping too many goals. We're
just a couple too many.
Yeah, we're throwing away winning positions probably more than anyone in the league. I'd love to know how many points we've thrown away from winning positions this season, because
it came up earlier. I'm not sure when, but we were quite high up. I think if games ended at half time, I saw this start on Facebook or Twitter, I think we would have been 8th
Yeah.
which is crazy, like to think of it like that.
Mm.
But this game hurt a lot more, I think, for Villa fans, seeing one particular player get some success. And as much as it hurts, you still got to congratulate a Villa fan, a former Villa player. I mean, when Ashley Young won the league, when Milner won the league, when Barry won the league, we still congratulated them as former Villa players and winning the league. So I'd like to say congratulations to Jack Grealish, as much as he didn't have an impact on the game, on him winning his first bit of silverware, but a bit bitter. I think there's a photo of him running on the ground when the final whistle went, which hurts a bit, but it's football, and so congratulations to him.
Look, he deserves it. He's a great player. He was bought by the best team in the league, and he has played his part. I mean, he even that goal against West Ham last week and all that.
Crucial goal.
Yeah, in the league, it's a crucial goal, and he hasn't had the best season, obviously, but I'm not bitter, and I wasn't bitter when he left at the start. I've seen a lot of people, tweeting things saying,
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
He's acting like he scored and assisted in every game and this sort of thing. Well, that's the thing about winning the league. You don't have,
it's the same thing.
Exactly. I mean, he's done more than maybe Zinchenko, for example, this season, and that guy's celebrating. So I've got no hard feeling. I saw him today. They had like some sort of parade or something. He had a drink in each hand, sunnies on.
A Jaeger bomb and a Heineken. It's like he's living his best life, as you would. It's his first, besides the championship playoff trophy, which is great that he won that for us. And I was looking at our future. It's pretty big. He did that and carried us to that thing. But it's his first major. No, it's his first major trophy. And look, if you or I won that thing, I'm pretty sure we'd be celebrating hard, if not harder than him.
I'd still be drunk, just like he is.
He's blind as a bat, and fair play. I mean, you got to congratulate him. I mean, there was release clause there. He wanted to win silverware, and as much as Villa fans are praying he wouldn't have won anything this year, he's gone and won the league. Congratulations to Jackie boy.
No, good for him. Who knows what might happen in the future with him. Maybe one day he'll come back and all these people that are abusing him, well, they'll have to, I don't know, get back on the Grealish train or still hate him. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Look at Ashley Young's return.
Football's a weird game.
It is a weird game. But Ashley Young left and Villa fans, hate him. He's a diving cheat. Does all this stuff. He comes back and Villa fans love him.
Yeah.
It's football. At the end of the day, it's football. And so many players, no matter who they're local boy, they're someone you signed, they're coal heroes. People move on. It happens. And
I also come from the perspective of like, what, who are we to tell him what he can do with his career? Like,
yeah, exactly.
He's a footballer first, and then he's a Villa fan. Like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And the footballer in him deserved to be, in a team that isn't 14th.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I will say, Villa fans have got to understand, we got £100 million for this bloke. Now, I'm not going to be the type of Villa fan that goes, he was worth 100 mil, because he wasn't worth 100 mil. He was worth £100 million to Aston Villa. And if he was going to leave Aston Villa, someone had to pay for that. So we got a British record fee, £100 million, which bought us so many players and put us in such a good situation. I mean, if we select Grealish, I don't think we get Coutinho. I don't think we, get these type of players. So, I mean, there's so many positives, there's negatives on this sort of stuff, but I think we're moving on. The future's bright, in my opinion.
That's it, and that's what we've got to look at now. We've got to look to the future, and the young players coming through, the signings that Gerrard, I think, is getting by being Steven Gerrard. Coutinho, I think we can all agree he wouldn't be at Villa if we didn't have Steven Gerrard as a coach.
100%.
And you could possibly say the same for Luka Digne and Boubacar Kamara, who we signed literally the day of the last game?
The day after, literally 24 hours ago. 24 hours. Oh, no. The day after in England, but same day for us, I think.
I love that. Love that we're doing our business early. Love that he'll probably be in Australia and we can watch him in Brisbane. That'll be fantastic. And on that game, I'm kind of glad that Leeds stayed up.
Yes.
Because I was thinking that game might get cancelled, and then I'm going to
There
have
were rumours it would be. There were
Yes.
rumours it would be. So that was honestly one of the epic final days we've just witnessed, I reckon. Like, so many things are up for grabs.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, Burnley have gone down, but they'll be back, I reckon. I mean, look at Bournemouth, look at Fulham. Burnley will be back. So
Yeah, I'm sick of having two claret and blue teams in the Premier League, but
we've still got two anyway.
but having three, that's like, that's too many. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Burnley,
seeing they stole our colours.
Yeah, you can go down, and play against Scunthorpe and the other claret and blue teams down there. So with the Leeds versus Villa game is confirmed, Leeds will be in the Premier League next season, so that's good because of the early start to the championship. There was rumours that the game against Leeds that we are all going to in Brisbane might be called off, or we might have been playing someone else like Palace, who will be in the country at the same time, but that's all confirmed, so that's great. Really disappointing game. Really in terms of the result. I think the performance, for the first 60 minutes, got to take our hat off to them. They, did well. They certainly gave a go of it and made a spectacle on the last day. But yes, like I said, the mentality morons, that's an issue.
It suits us. It suits us, doesn't it? I mean,
it's an issue, and
big issue.
The likes of sort of these stalwart sort of players that we've had for a while in this run from the championship to where we are now, like Tyrone Mings, John McGinn, Ezri Konsa, these kind of guys that, their positions are now sort of going to start coming under question, I think.
Everyone's well.
Yes. Maybe not so much John McGinn, but I think the centre halves, now that we got Chambers playing well, and I can see some more signings in that area.
I mean, we're linked to Tarkowski overnight, I believe. Sky Sports reported that. So, I mean, we're looking to get some centre backs in. You got to fight for your spot, and I think Tarkowski's an unbelievable centre back.
Yes, I'd definitely take him. I think he's got everything you want from a Premier League defender. He's definitely one of Burnley's best players, if not their best player. So certainly is the sort of player we should be looking at, and it's an area of the pitch we need to improve. So why not? We've got that defensive midfielder now, so that's another area that we needed, in reinforcement. I'm just sort of thinking, where else might Gerrard go? I mean, they're the two. Could we get another winger? Could we get another striker?
That's what I'm thinking. I think he wants a goal scorer. I mean, Ollie Watkins, I know he was injured for a bit of the season, but 13 goals, Gerrard will want a 20-goal striker. He'll want someone. I believe Jonathan David from Lille, someone we're linked to, who knows how he'll adjust, but he's a good striker, Canadian international.
He's a very good striker.
And one close friend of his is available on a free at the moment as well, Luis Suarez, who we continue to be linked with. So who knows what's going to happen.
I've seen that. I'm not as keen for that one.
No,
I think
it's a marketing thing.
I just think he's done in many ways, and his knees are really bad. He can't run.
But he can finish.
He can finish. He certainly can finish. And I mean, it would be great to see in some ways, but I think him, Coutinho, I mean, I don't know how much defending we're going to do from the front if they're both, on the pitch at the same time.
We may as well get Dirk Kuyt out of retirement as well. Get the proper band back together. So,
dear me, So I'm not so keen about the Suarez one, but I mean, if we did sign him, I'd back him, and I'd certainly, see how it went. But it's not really one for the future.
No,
and I think we need to build a good young team. We've got good young players coming through the academy, and just a sprinkling of experience, like guys like Coutinho, who, were going through a bad patch in their career, but the talent and the quality was, unquestionable. And, we've just given him a good new home. That's the sort of players, in that sort of 27, 28, 29-year-old age bracket, a couple of them with the young kids and the players we've already got, And I think, we can push on next season. But going back to what you said about Ollie and the recognised striker thing, that chance he got in the second half against City, I think that sums up what you were saying perfectly. That puts the game 3-0, I'm pretty sure, at that point.
I think it would have made it 2, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
so I think that would have made it 2-0. But, I mean, if we got that other chance again, it would have been 3, but who knows? But I think that came before the Coutinho chance.
But still, it would have been a crucial goal. You know, it would have put one nail in City's coffin. And, he's just got his feet tangled again, and just it was a weird finish. You know,
we've seen it so many times this season, though. The same story with Ollie. Once he gets a centre back or defender near him, he seems to just crumble with the composure, and he's just that little bit of composure he needs, and he'll slot it home. But,
and I think I think in that sort of situation, when you're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper and you've got someone behind you like that, you want to sort of cut one way or the other. You don't want to be going straight at the goalkeeper.
No.
And that was the problem, because if you sort of tap it to one side, then one side of the goal opens up. You know, and you can kind of use your body to get in between the defender and the ball, and knock it onto your right foot, or cut it across onto your left, whatever. And I just think he was just running a bit too straight then. And I think maybe more of a natural finisher would have got into a better body position.
Look, John Stones defended it quite well. I think he blocked his strong side, made him, have to think properly about what he's going to do. Because if John Stones on his left, he's obviously going to go right and try finesse it around Edison. So, I mean, Stones is a quality defender, knew what he had to do, and the rest is history. Unfortunately, just literally just put it wide,
Yeah, yes, it was just inches in it, but obviously, that's one area he's got to pick up a little bit. I think he's had a very good second half of the season. I think his first half of the season under predominantly Dean Smith was quiet, and he wasn't really looking himself. Not just the goals, it was the work rate,
everything,
the pressure. It wasn't the same, and something was a bit off there. And I think maybe he got injured right at the start of the season. That might have played a factor. Who knows? But I think his second half of the season has been solid. He's been back to his sort of unrelenting pressure, that sort of thing, and hopefully he can kick on again next season, because I think he is our best sort of number 9. I think Danny Ings is slightly different in that he's more of a creator. He can finish as well, but he's cleverer than Ollie. He can do more when he has the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
So and those two seem to be coming together quite well. I mean, he went for Buendia, the 2 number 10s behind Ollie this game, and I think that was probably just because it was Man City, and he wanted that extra midfielder in there,
100%.
and the ability to keep the ball a bit better with Buendia and Coutinho. And I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think it worked. I mean, for 70 minutes, we were the best team on the park. I know Man City had a lot of the ball, but they weren't threatening with it.
No.
They kept on passing it side to side back to the keeper. They weren't threatening with the ball, so they can have much of the ball they want. I mean, Man City, all the best teams will have more of the possessions. I think they can break you down, but out of possession, the team was so well structured. I mean, you still got to applaud the team. I mean, they put in a very, very good shift, a very, very good shift. And I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to see what a full preseason under Stevie G looks like.
Definitely. And Don Hutchison was the commentator for our feed here in Australia. And he was saying at one point, Villa are just, sort of parking the bus. Yeah, but I don't think that is entirely true. I think we were looking to get forward. We
scored 2 goals.
Yeah, we were deep, but we weren't right in our penalty area. We were sort of on the edge of our penalty area, and our midfielders, weren't right back. They were sort of in that, kind of defensive midfield area, which, you've got to do. You can't let teams like City have space in behind and be able to pass around you. I don't think we parked the bus at all. I don't think that's in Gerrard's nature, and I like that. Yes, but I still think the system hasn't quite clicked.
Not yet. We've seen it
no.
in patches, but I mean, he hasn't had a full preseason. I mean, give him a few more. Like, I reckon we'll see a massive shift in mentality next season under Stevie G, because his mentality, he's a winner. He wants to win. He wants to win trophies for Aston Villa. He said that many times. So kind of be like, you got to be all in, or you're not going to play. Like, he's really going to have his system in play.
Do you think 6-7 months or whatever it's been since Gerrard has been here is long enough to have seen an improvement in that system?
But we have seen improvements, Scott. I mean, was it Burnley at Turf Moor? I know it was only Burnley, they got relegated, but we played them off the park. Like, the system looked very good that day against Burnley. We've seen patches against Liverpool for the first half. We played very well. But yes and no. I mean, he needs to get his own players in to put his own stamp on the team. So I think when he gets the few months off and then gets back in July, we'll really see a massive difference.
Yeah, we had a question come up in our Facebook group a few weeks ago, or a week or so ago, saying, look at what Eddie Howe's done at Newcastle and compare that to what Gerrard's done at Villa. And he has completely turned their season around. They were relegation fodder. They were relegated in many people's eyes. Yes, they've got a lot of money and they bought players in January, but they bought Chris Wood, not a great striker. Yeah. They bought Guimaraes, who is a very good player.
Very good player.
And they, got Matty Target from us on loan, and Dan Burn, who I think
Trippier as well.
Kieran Trippier. So yeah, they bought some players, but they didn't buy like world superstars, maybe, apart from Trippier and Guimaraes, top players, sure.
They made smart signings.
Yes.
They took Burnley's relegation candidate's best striker, which I think is such a smart move because he had a release clause in. So they made smart signings that ended up hurting Burnley. Yes, Chris Wood hasn't had a great season, but I think he's scored 10 goals in every campaign he's played in, so he's still a good Premier League striker.
Yep. But look at what he did with Joe Linton. Put him in midfield. Right? And these the little things. And I think there is this is my point. I'm making a long point, but my point is that Gerrard next season is going to be under a lot of pressure.
A lot. Of course there is. I mean, he's at a big club like Aston Villa. I mean, that comes. I mean, Dean Smith was under pressure from the moment he walked in the door. Even in the championship with Jack Grealish, we weren't playing too well. And it's like, oh, he's not the right man for the job. We win 10 in a row, we get promoted. We're going to get relegated. Go get Dean Smith out. We stay up. Then he has a great second season, and then everyone's under pressure.
But Dean Smith, being from Brentford, being sort of not really a household name, I don't think it's the same thing as Gerrard coming from Rangers, winning the league, being Steven Gerrard, and all that means.
It's the name that adds more pressure.
Right. And the two sides of his management, I think, like personally, I couldn't be I couldn't have more differing opinions on them. The Steven Gerrard, the man, the ambassador, the coach, the leader, all of that, the way he talks, A+. I think like it's gone above my expectations and beyond. Just the way he talks, the way he conducts himself, the way he leads his team, and all of that. The sort of, and the players he's brought in and all that. The character he's trying to instill in the team. I love it. Love that. But the tactical side of the system, the tactical side, the fact that we have played really quite poorly in many games for long periods, and the mentality thing, like against City on the weekend, that is still a huge question mark for me. And I'm not going to say he's bad at that, because we want to see him with his team, but I think it's a huge question. I think, if we're in a similar sort of place, 14th, 15th, just above the relegation area next season, then
next season, the start of next season's key. Because I agree with you. Like, if we find ourselves around here next season, I don't think, one, he'll be in the job, and two, he's going to hurt because we all know where Gerrard wants to get to. We all know he wants to be the Liverpool manager. He needs to do well here to get that job. And I think he knows that. So he's got I think he's got a lot of pressure on himself. So give him pre-season, give him a first couple of months. I think we're going to see a different Aston Villa side to what we see the back end of this year.
Well, I hope it's those 2 or 3 key positions that we need to strengthen. We've already done one with Kamara. Hopefully he's a success. He can get a full preseason. He can come to Australia and, do all that and, hopefully hit the ground running. That's, if we pick up a centre back or a striker, let's say, hopefully they do well, come in and make a difference. But yeah, I just think that is a question mark still. And, we heard a lot of great stuff about his backroom staff, Michael Beale, and everything I've heard about him, I loved, but when I see us play sometimes, the Watford game, that
one springs to mind straight away.
Yeah, these kind of games, it's just, it's sort of baffling that we can play that badly, but, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be very exciting to see next season. I'm looking forward to it already. Looking forward to the preseason, of course, because we are going to be there. So yeah, really, really excited, and I believe in Steven Gerrard. I still think he'll get us a top 10 finish next season, and everything will be looking more and more rosy. Anything else you wanted to touch on? The women.
They lost to the Blues. They lost to the Blues in the last game of the season, but
we didn't touch on that last week.
No, disappointingly.
It was a bit of a disappointing end for them, but they stayed up and they definitely improved on last season.
Yeah.
They were comfortable above relegation this season, whereas last season they were really in that mix.
I think it was the final day they survived on last year, I think, if I remember correctly. But they've already released up to 6 or 7 players, so they're already making big moves in the women's side. So hopefully they can push on, but it's going to be hard. They've got to get to the elites of the Arsenals and the Chelseas. Yeah. It's going to be tough for them.
Yes, I think those sort of clubs are probably way out of our league at the moment, but, I think we could be around, the Spurs, those sort of teams that are
That's where you got to get to.
Yeah, the mid-table teams in that Women's Super League. And it was a record crowd as well for them. So that was good to see for a women's game at Villa Park. I think it was about 9,000, something like that. So, and
it's good to see people getting to support the ladies at Villa Park. I think they should get to play more games there. They're playing at Walsall, but I hope they progress. They're part of the Villa name. You got to back them in. All their games are up to sport here in Australia, so we get to watch them as well. So I actually watched as many games as I could. I think I watched 3 or 4 games, which was always good to see. So I'm happy for them. I just hope they can continue to progress.
Yep. And Mark Delaney has left as the under-23s coach. He's done a great job. We all remember, of course, that game, FA Cup match against Liverpool, where we had the COVID issues and he took the kids to Villa Park and was 1-0 or 1-1 at one point, wasn't it?
Half time, I think it was.
Yeah.
Then...
And he's brought through some absolutely cracking kids. Great attitude.
Look at Jacob Ramsey. He's one of the most recent graduates or proper graduates we've had. Obviously, good old Timmy, Carney Chukwuemeka. Yep. There's a few that he's produced, so hopefully he can go on and do some good things as well. I mean, once they're leaving the club, you still want former Villa people to do well.
That's right, and I'm hearing more positive things about Carney's contract situation.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
I know we offered him a new package or something.
I heard $30K a week. I heard a big package for Carney. So
hopefully that can get it done, because there's a part of me that still thinks he could be the best one out of the lot.
Yeah.
Just on his physical size, his speed, his calmness. He looks really relaxed on the ball. He rarely gives it away. And I think when he's come on in those matches this season, I think he's played quite well. So
do I. Yeah,
it's just, the question of, does he want to be here? And hopefully he does. And we'll have to wait and see on that one. Anyone else you think is going to leave? I
can name 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the ones we talked about last week, Traore, Wesley, Trezeguet, Who else did we say last
El
week?
Ghazi.
El Ghazi. Like they're the ones that I think are pretty much nailed on.
I think there'll be one big name player that goes in the offseason. I think Ezri Konsa or Tyrone Mings might find themselves out the door. Obviously, Douglas Luiz, I think, will go. And I think one of Ollie Watkins or Danny Ings might go as well. I think it's going to be a big offseason. Stevie G will want to put his own stamp on the team, and to do that, he needs financial backing, obviously, which he'll get, but he needs the FFP regulations in his path as well.
Yes, if we got in another striker, then I could see Danny Ings leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, yeah, we got Keenan Davis coming back, who's doing quite well.
Playoff final this weekend, I think it is. So good luck to Keenan Davis and Jonathan Hogg, former Villa player playing for Huddersfield. So good luck to both those guys.
Yep. And of course, Matty Target's probably the other one that could possibly make his loan move permanent to Newcastle.
I hear Fulham want him though as well, because obviously it wasn't an option to buy, I don't think.
No.
So
but I know he has impressed a lot of people.
Oh, they love him. They love him. So I mean, last season, if I told you 12 months ago Matt Target would be out the door, you probably would have called me stupid, because he was Players Player of the Year, I think, last year. It's ridiculous how quick football can change.
Certainly is. And it's ridiculous how quickly this podcast can change as well. No, I mean, it has changed. Like, wrapping up, we're a year in, a season in, and thank you so much for everyone for all your support. We really enjoy doing this. Please, if you enjoy watching, let us know. We will be back. We're going to do an episode soon, like a report card on the season. We're going to go through all the players, and we're going to say what they did well, what they did badly, what they improved on from last year, what they maybe regressed in, So if you've got any questions like that or any comments, please leave them in the comment section, and make sure you like and subscribe. And let us know which players, you would like to see next season come in, which ones you'd like to see leave, and all of that. And we will get back to that. Tommy's in America at the moment, and unfortunately, Troy has got pneumonia after his COVID. It's really been a tough
he's been very sick
for him. Yeah, it's been awful. So he regrettably said that he couldn't make it tonight, but we will hopefully get them all back soon. And look forward to seeing you all soon for some transfer news and report card episodes. So thanks again. Thanks, Noah. And
that's all right. Pleasure as always.
Up the Villa, and we'll see you all later.
See
Catch you, lads. Bye. See ya.